Welcome back to the Starfighter podcast. It is Dom and Jake coming at you with this very special episode. Jake, how's it going?
Excellent, man. Excellent. It's good to finally be done with 2021. So on to 2022 slate. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and so, at the beginning of the new year, we kind of like to talk about the previous year and all the, great entertainment that we got from that. So that's what this episode's going to be about. I'm excited. We've made our kind of top 10 list that we'll go over. Also, we've got some honorable mentions in there. We'll even talk about some disappointments. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, or if you're watching on the replay, definitely join the conversation either in the live chat or in the comment section. Give us your top 10 list or maybe top 5 list if you don't have 10. Recommendations, stuff like that. Let us know what you really enjoyed when it comes to movies, shows, even games in 2021. Definitely want to hear from you. And if you're tuning in live, we will put up some of your live comments too and share them. Speaking of which, Ryan Phillips. Hey guys, I'm here live finally. Awesome. Good to have you, man.
Ryan, how you doing, brother?
All right. You know what? Before we get started, let me cue up the music real quick.
We don't want to be sitting here in silence.
Right? Okay. Here we go. Best of 2021. Let's do it, man.
Heck yeah.
What do you want to start with? You want to start with like disappointments first? Or should we save that to the end?
Do you want to end it on a high note or end it on a low note? Let's.
I want to end it on a high note.
Yeah, let's do disappointments first. Let's just get that out of the way.
All right, let's do it. I'll start, I guess, with my first. I don't know if I have a whole lot. I don't know. And I'll keep mine pretty brief because I've talked about most of mine pretty extensively.
Yeah.
I finally got around to seeing, because we just took a trip to AZ to visit the family. Also, is the music coming in pretty loud for you, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty decent. It's a little loud, maybe just like a touch, but
Let me turn that down a little bit.
yeah, right there, that's good.
All right, hopefully that's a little better. Okay, so took a trip to see the family on the airplane. They had Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. And I've been curious about seeing it, just didn't get around to it. Finally did it. I thought that movie was atrocious. Um, it was really, really bad in my opinion. And I usually don't say that. I usually don't go really, really bad, but to me it was really bad. It was terrible. Um, I I wish I had just watched something else, but at a certain point, I was kind of like too far gone. You know what I mean?
You're already
Um,
invested.
but also it was very early in the morning, and I was really tired, so it was kind of like I was also just too lazy. Like I was almost like not all there. You know what I mean?
I got you.
So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I was just like I'm just gonna let it play it out. I'm just gonna let it play out. But like I guess the only thing that I kind of liked is I thought that the CGI with Carnage looked pretty good, but yeah, other than that, story and dialogue especially really bad dialogue. um,
Yeah.
so definitely a bummer. What's your first disappointment?
That would be my first disappointment as well. We're on the same page. I mean, that takes the top list for me in disappointments in 2021, just because I am like a massive Venom fan. And I kind of let them get away with the first movie. I was like, okay, I can kind of dig this movie. It's okay. But this second movie was just atrocious, like you said. I mean, it's really hard to find any good thing out of this movie besides, like you said, Carnage looked awesome, and when Carnage was like fighting in the jail scene, that was cool. But so yeah, the story was terrible. I really didn't care for like him going back to Ravencroft and getting that girl. I really wanted to see like just him and Venom duke it out like a lot more. They probably should have met 2 or 3 times during the movie,
Yeah.
and had a final battle scene or something like that where it got out of control. But it was too short when they released the timing of how long the movie, like an hour and a half. I was like, what are you gonna, like, what? So yeah, big disappointment. Unfortunately, I watched it. I actually bought it. I regret that purchase, and now I just have to look at it every time in my library when I go look at other movies I want to watch.
Yeah, I'll jump to my other. I think I only have two other ones, and I'll just go over those real quick because I've talked about both of them quite a bit on the channel, and I actually have another episode that I did a stereo show, and I'm gonna upload that in a couple days to the channel too, so you can hear me complain a little bit more about them again on that.
Wait, here, go put that comment up. Waverly Torres just hit it, dropped some knowledge on us.
After, oh yeah, that's really good. So this is my wife.
Okay.
So Wave says, I was watching with Dom, but disconnected my headphones after Brock said the only scoop I'm getting is double chocolate chip. This is during the Venom show. 'Cause a lot of times we like to watch shows together on the airplane, and she's like, I can't do it.
She was gonna do it. Yeah, dude.
After this line, and this is towards the beginning of the movie too. This is like within the first 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
I can't do it. I can't do it, babe. I'm gonna watch something else.
When he gets on his motorcycle to leave the prison, like after the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, like come on.
I mean, I've always, even from the first one, I have an issue with the way that they go about doing Venom as well, and I don't really like the humor. It doesn't land for me, and I primarily the humor and the relationship between Venom talking to Eddie, that none of that works for me, and that's a huge part of the Sony portrayal of him. So it's very, very difficult to
that, Tom. And then the fact that you kind of bring that up, it's like too like lighthearted. Venom is meant to be like a horror rated R, like you're supposed to cringe and kind of want to throw up during the movie. And they just like don't do like any of that grossness with Venom. It's disappointing. So
yeah, it's tough to get on board with.
It's cringe.
But yeah, so my other two disappointments would be WandaVision and Loki. That was 2021, yes?
WandaVision was like at the beginning, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because we got 3 shows this year from Marvel.
It definitely was.
Or 4.
4.
What
was I gonna say? Yeah, I've talked about it many times, so I'll keep it brief. There's some really great moments and some pretty solid episodes within both of those series. It's just the expectations, which, it's okay to have your expectations be let down sometimes, but when they keep kind of like, I guess, like yanking your chain and teasing you with stuff constantly, it gets to be too much and like redundant and irritating. And then my biggest issue, with which we won't go into a whole lot of spoilers with this episode, but maybe a couple spoilers here and there. Plus, if you're watching this, if you're watching our channel, and then I feel like you should probably be mostly up to date with these shows and stuff. I guess the big thing with WandaVision, it was supposed to be all about sacrifice in the end, and the sacrifice to me wasn't true sacrifice, because she could get back basically everything that she wanted and was supposedly sacrificing in the end. So that just didn't. There was no payoff and like a emotional punch. And then with Loki, like everyone was really excited about the big bad
is this
character.
Is this your third disappointment?
Yeah,
Loki.
I mean,
Whoa.
I liked some episodes for sure. I think the second to last was the best in my opinion. Um, the one where they, um,
Yeah.
pull the Last Jedi and actually, make some gutsy decisions,
Pretty much.
which
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
which I liked when they take him out, and then the end credits, you see that he's still alive, whatever. Um, but no, like a lot of us were really excited to see what's his name,
King.
um, King the Conqueror, and that character was a joke to me. And
It was pretty.
I know people are like, oh, he's gonna be different in season 2 because it's gonna be a different version of him. He's gonna be different in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't care. Um, I don't want to see any version of that character, honestly. And it's not the actor's fault because
No.
because they direct him a certain way, they give him certain lines and stuff. It just was very out of place and weird, and too much biting the apple in between your conversation, in between like your evil villain speech, to you're just eating this apple, and I
You
don't know
caught
what
me
I'm.
monologuing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole thought. Yeah,
Syndrome.
the whole last episode. That's what I was thinking in my head.
Yeah,
You caught me monologuing.
Syndrome is a way better villain than
Oh,
King the Conqueror. But
100%.
that's it. That's it. Well, what about you?
Wow, I am actually really surprised you dropped 2 Marvel shows and you didn't even
Yeah.
drop the one I'm gonna drop, but it's okay. We'll get there. So I'll just go through mine pretty quickly too. After Venom 2, I mean, I don't know if people are gonna agree or not, but Black Widow was a pretty big disappointment for me. And I'm gonna get into more of like why I thought Black Widow was a disappointment to me later when I give like my top 5 and why it's in my top 5. But it just wasn't a good send off. I didn't feel like it. Kind of felt like a pointless movie. She lives. You kind of have an idea that pretty much everybody else does. It was just very lackluster. It did not really catch my attention as much, and everything they did with trying to keep Taskmaster like under wraps and who it was, and then who it came out to be, and the fact that it really wasn't like that big of a deal. Like it wasn't. It made no sense to me. She was like a robotic person that didn't. That's not Taskmaster to me. So Taskmaster kind of flopped that movie for me. And then another one that I was expecting a lot from this year that I didn't get really what I wanted was Kong. So Godzilla vs Kong. It was too much about the humans, almost a little bit too much. It was interesting to me, but it wasn't something that was like I just wanted more from the movie. So it was a kind of a letdown for me. But and the last one actually is a Marvel show, and that would be Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really wanted to like that show as much as I possibly could, but kind of like Dom said, and unfortunately, that was kind of Marvel shows this year. Is like they were good until the end almost. I think they changed too much in that show for it to like go together cohesively enough for me to follow. Where like they kind of like left a lot of things, vaccines or whatever. There's like parts of the story that just didn't continue, and then just the whole ending speech and all of it. So those are my 4 kind of big disappointments of the year. So
Gotcha. Can you tell me again what, like, that last point about why Falcon was a disappointment? I may have missed it.
a lot of reasons. It looked like the CW produced the Falcon suit. First of all, it looked like a cheap suit they bought from a costume shop. In my opinion, it didn't make sense to me. The cowl thing, it's just like give him a helmet if you're gonna give him a helmet. Like I wasn't into it. And then just how it like wrapped up where he was like, yeah, you guys gotta do better and stuff. And I was just like it just the
Yeah.
whole ending speech didn't make sense to me. And it was I'm still salty too because hashtag not my cap. Like I like him so much more as Falcon than trying to be Captain America. But that's just one of those things that it's going to take me a little while to get used to. But I just don't see it. It's just not. He's not Captain America as much as he wants to be. So I don't know. I don't know. We had
Gotcha.
some guy named John Walker get a serum, and then you have Falcon that's just like a normal guy still, and you're just like, oh, okay, like,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So that was it. It just seemed kind of cheap. I can't wait to see what John Walker does, but yeah. Am I super glitchy and slow on your side?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it was just that it just seemed cheap. I didn't really dig the story. Sharon Carter, you know, that's one of my big issues with Marvel right now is I feel like they're trying to do too much. It's almost like they're branching off the stories. Like Marvel started off with all these stories and then branched them together into like the Avengers and all that stuff. And right now it seems like there's no more of that, and they're kind of like creating separate realities to like branch different storylines off of. And so I'm just waiting for them to make it work. That's all. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a waiting game, you know.
Yeah, understandable. For sure.
But
All right, man. Can we get into our best of 2021 list?
heck yeah, man. I'm excited about it.
Me too. Let's do it. Let's start with number 10. Um, I'll go ahead and start out. Number 10 for me was Raya and the Last Dragon. Um, I thought that this was a really great movie. I think it's one that a lot of people have slept on, and so I highly recommend this movie. Actually, not only did it look great, but I thought the story was really good, and I mean, it has some cool action too. Just like a lot of cool elements about it. And this is actually, let's see if I can trying to remember the actress's name. She gets a lot of heat because she plays Rose in the sequel trilogy in Star Wars. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like right there, but
Is that who voices Raya?
no. Yes, it is actually. Yeah, and
Wow,
then
I did not know that.
Aquafina voices the dragon.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it's good because she really did a great job voicing Raya. And again, the story was great. I really liked how um not a whole lot of spoilers here, but a big part of it was kind of about having these different sides of these different villages coming together, and I guess setting aside their differences in order to achieve peace. And she was a lot of it was having. I was actually thinking about this too because I just watched Eternals, and the two of them almost have like some opposite storylines because with Ryan the Last Dragon, a lot of it is believing in humanity, and in Eternals, a lot of it is doubting humanity. Um, so two like definite opposites there, but yeah, it was definitely a really great story, and I really enjoyed the movie. So yeah, Ryan the Last Dragon, number 10 for me. What about you? Oh, you know what, Jake? I can't hear you right now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I knew you were gonna put Raya in there, so I didn't. I went with another animated film. Raya was good. I liked Raya. I don't know why I got so much heat. Aquafina, I can deal with her as a dragon in that. She has a great dragon voice. Um, but for me, it was Luca as my 10. It's kind of like that hidden gem. Not, I don't know how popular it was, but like with a lot of people. But if you want to just kind of like sit down and just like watch animated, like great Pixar movie with a great story, um, that's definitely one to go do. It was very visually like pleasant to watch, and it, dude, I don't know. I always got teased when I was growing up because I wanted to get a motorcycle instead of a car for my first vehicle. And my parents always told me that they would buy me a Vespa if I wanted to get my motorcycle license. And that's the only two-wheel vehicle they'd ever purchased me. So I took like a pleasant, just like kind of love for that movie just because it's all about Vespas. And I always hated the fact that I would have to drive a Vespa. I always could picture
Yeah.
myself on one, you know? So it was hilarious. I loved the whole point of the movie. I thought it was good.
Yes, and slight spoiler for last episode of Boba, but this is where Vespas belong. They belong in Luca. They do not belong in Star Wars. So hopefully, hopefully
Senior
Disney,
Vespa was coming down the street, bro.
Lucasfilm. Yeah, we don't need Vespa Power Rangers in Star Wars. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say for spoilers. We're safe here. All right. If you
It's
want the
safe, yeah.
spoilers, you can watch the episode 3 review I did the other day. Oh, Kelly Marie Tran is
Yeah.
the actress who voices Raya. I just want to throw that out there because I forgot her name. But Marie Tran did an amazing job um, in Raya and the Last Dragon, and I really did enjoy Luca as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. We got a couple comments we will catch too real quick.
Yeah, I was reading
Um,
some.
Ryan says, pointless when you know the outcome. They should have come out with it before she died. Oh, this is
Yeah.
about Black Widow. What I will
Mhm.
say is that, for me, I felt like we all knew that. Like we all knew it before it came out. So for me, I did my best not to let that affect um my experience, but clearly it plays a factor. But it's like how much am I going to let that take away my enjoyment? I just want to see the movie. I like the character, I like all the actors and stuff. So um I tried to ignore that as much as I could. I understand it does play a factor a little bit with the time frame and everything, but um, for me, I still found enjoyment with it for sure.
Well, the other thing
Um,
too with that, Dom, is I think what killed that was also like the delays. I think it just got delayed too long. If it came out like right after Endgame, I feel like people would still have like some sort of investment and like feel for her, like get that nostalgia of seeing her on screen. But I
yeah.
just think it just took too long to come out.
Another thing, actually, with Black Widow and with Raya, these are two movies, and there's some others as well. These are two movies that were in like I would call it like the really awkward period of the pandemic when it comes to entertainment. These were movies that the studios were taking shots on, uh, like shots at to pick back up the audience's attention. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they were experiment movies. You know what I mean? Like the studios definitely had a lot of faith in them, but because of this like really awkward period and the $30 premium access stuff like that, it hurt both of those movies, unfortunately. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing.
I did buy the $30 thing
I did
for
too.
Black Widow.
Yeah. Ryan also says, yes, I don't care about these characters when Marvel is just trying to make a show for money. Gotcha. I think he was that was around when you were talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, I believe.
But yeah, I mean they're just like not like I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because I have Hawkeye on my top 10 and it's a lot higher than what probably a lot of people think. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah. Um Tuesday, I know you said that you sent something to me in Discord. I'll have to check that out later, but
I can't
definitely
wait.
appreciate having you here. And yeah, if you want to chime in with your favorites of 2021, your favorite movies and shows, that'd be great. Because yeah, we'd love to hear what you guys enjoyed.
Is Ryan saying Spy Kids the new one that just came out?
Oh no, it's a little reference for Book of Boba because
Uh, uh,
I was calling them the Spy Kids as well.
uh that's so true. That's so.
Yeah. Well, then
This looks goofy. It's
then
just
the
like
uncle
the.
comes in too, so it all blends in.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, that's funny. Sorry.
Uh, no. Number 9. For me, this was Star Wars: The Bad Batch. I enjoyed it. I mean, there was a couple of I don't know, just a little bit hit and miss for me. Um, the first 2 episodes are really, really good of The
Hmm.
Bad Batch. Um, unfortunately, the rest of the show, well, you know what? There's also my other favorite episode when Cad Bane comes back. That episode
Yeah.
was really good. I was almost gonna say the show never gets as good as those first 2 episodes, but the episode with Cad Bane was was also very good. Um, it fluctuates, I guess, like most shows too. But those episodes that weren't as good, and kind of like dragged on or was a little bit too much of a side mission when you were just eager for everything to get back onto like the main storyline. A little bit disappointing there, but overall, um, really enjoyed it. And I mean, I'm just a huge Star Wars fan, and I think it did a lot to um, for canon. I think that they're setting up a lot of stuff, and I think some stuff um, will tie into Mandalorian later on, um, or any of these other John Favreau, Dave Filoni shows coming up. So yeah, and we got some awesome characters. I think Omega is a really cool and interesting character. Um, Crosshair is a really cool character as well. And just like the family dynamics too, I think was a big thing for me in this show. And they continue to, obviously it's the same animation style as the Clone Wars because it's a spin-off from Star Wars the Clone Wars, but they every time, like we saw it in season 7 of Clone Wars and now in Bad Batch after that, they just keep making the animation for Clone Wars and now Bad Batch even better every time, and it's awesome. Oh, and the music is really solid too. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
why Bad Batch for me was in number 9.
yeah, those are good points. Yeah, Bad Batch. Those first two episodes were honestly like phenomenal. The first episode, I was like, "Holy smokes!" That was one of those ones I kind of wanted them to take it a different direction, but I understand that they're world building. Like I want to see honestly like a live action Bad Batch show up in Boba Fett with Omega. That would be some ridiculousness right there that I would thoroughly enjoy seeing a live action Bad Batch. But yeah, dude. Yeah, Bad Batch. It was good. It just kind of lost me, like you said. It was just a little sometimes too. I think they maybe made that series too long, is what it might have been. But I liked it. Yeah, that's a good one. I
Yeah,
forgot
I
about
could
that
see
one.
that too. I could see that
Um,
too.
Shoot, for my 9, I actually put another animated movie, and this one really surprised me. If you haven't seen it, go watch this movie. It is like freaking hilarious. It's so many parts of this movie just like maybe crack up. Okay, Mitchell's versus the Machines. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a Netflix animated movie. There's one scene when they go to the Grand Canyon with donkeys, um, and I pee myself every time I watch that scene. It is seriously it's one of the funnier scenes I've ever seen in a movie, dude. It's so classic. It's so dark and so humorous. Oh, okay. Anyways, Mitchell vs. Machine animation. It was a Sony movie, so it was kind of like the same thing they did with Into the Spider Verse. That was the same kind of. Yep, yeah, dude.
Ryan says
Hilarious.
hilarious. Yeah.
But same kind of animation. I really enjoyed it. The people hate me for saying this about the Spider Verse movie, uh, but that movie really hurt my eyes to watch. It was really tough to watch for me, and like that's why I don't give that movie
Hmm.
as much props as a lot of people do. But they kind of toned down that for this movie, and it was like perfect animation. I thought it was just if you I don't even know what to say. I would say like sit down and watch it with your family, but like go sit down and watch it by yourself and like just have a good time watching it. It has doesn't have to do with kids or anything, so it's a good movie. Seriously, highly recommend. Hidden gem for everyone out there. So that's just how I feel. I'm gonna just
Nice.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
take a step.
that's one that I haven't gotten around to seeing, but I've only heard great things about it. So I got to go check that one out. Ryan also says Mitchell's the music is
Mm-hmm.
amazing in that movie. Also, great animation, very unique.
Yeah, for sure. Top
Ryan
three.
says that's in his top 3 for him. Nice. Um, I do want to get a couple of Tuesday's comments real quick. First one, he says, "Can't believe you guys didn't like WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier."
You don't know what I put
Um,
on my list, bro. You gotta wait till the end.
yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier is on my list, I will say,
Oh,
and
what?
um, it is, and just to clarify, I still enjoyed episodes of WandaVision. I still enjoyed the show. Um, all all of these Marvel movies, every single one, I found enjoyment. Some definitely more than others. All 3 of them had a very lackluster ending, in my opinion, and
Yep.
I've heard that from a lot of other people too. I don't think it's a stretch whatsoever. Um, I feel like a lot of times they leave you hanging, not in a good way,
No.
and I feel like they tease you stuff and there's no payoff. Again, I've said it before, the sacrifice in WandaVision I don't think works at all. She can get spoiler guys, she can get Vision back in some capacity and she can get her kids back. It's no sacrifice if you don't actually lose something. Um and that really bothers me. That really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because sacrifice is such a strong story element in so many movies. How many movies, especially fantasy, sci-fi, comic book movies, are there these big sacrifices and they're like the climax of the story? I mean, Tony Stark multiple times, real sacrifice. And just so
Mm,
many other characters as well. It's like if you're gonna use that as a story element, you have to do it right. And for me, they just didn't stick the landing with some of these endings. But
yeah.
again, still, and a great thing I've said about shows is that if one episode doesn't work for you, there's always next week. And many times with WandaVision, it was like that. There's still episodes that I really liked. So, and uh, and they were able to do some stuff that in a way wasn't necessarily original but was kind of unique, the way that they were able to take the different generations of television and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely didn't hate it. And then I'll talk more about Falcon and Winter Soldier later.
Oh, that's gonna be
um
high on your list then, huh?
we'll see. And then
Oh,
the Bad Batch is right. He says Tuesday says the Bad Batch is right after episode 3 and Boba is right after episode 6. Right? I don't think live action Bad Batch would work time wise. I wasn't necessarily saying that they would be in live action. I think some things could carry over. And also, don't forget that all of these are clones. Also,
yeah.
don't forget in new canon today, Rex survives. Um, Rex survives it all. I mean, they
Yeah.
they have made in canon that Rex is one of the guys on Endor, that he is one of the rebels on Endor now. And clearly, when George made that movie, Rex was not even a thought. He was not a character. But now they have written it into canon that Rex is one of those rebels that goes with Han, Leia, and Luke to Endor, and so yeah, and that's in episode 6. So Omega and the rest of the Bad Batch, some of them could carry over into live action. Um, I don't know if they necessarily will, but certain things about it, um, I
Well, I'm
think
confused.
will
Couldn't they show up
definitely.
anyways?
Or I'm saying that certain things about the Bad Batch, elements in the Bad Batch, could carry over into Mandalorian or some of these other Dave Filoni, John Favreau shows, is what I was saying.
Okay. Okay. So, do you think today is Tuesday saying the Bad Batch would be too old then?
Yeah, but they're clones, and
I don't know
and
how they
again,
age. Yeah.
they don't age as fast. And again, they've made it so Rex is in episode 6. He's in Return of the Jedi, so the other ones could live
Yeah, that's true.
just as long, especially Omega.
I want to see Omega meet Boba, dude. That's like
Yeah,
I've been dreaming about that. I mean, they're brother and sister, so at this point,
yeah.
like, I mean, I got to see some sort of family interaction. There's got to be some grift that happens there. So
You say that now, and I haven't thought about it in a while since watching the Bad Batch. But who knows? Maybe she'll show up in Book of Boba Fett, and that would be really cool.
well, we've already watched Book of Boba Fett the first 3 episodes. We know he gets his butt kicked a lot. You know, what if he's just getting his butt kicked and out of nowhere, Omega and Bad Batch come out and just save his butt, dude? Just like take down all these.
I mean, Boba
Spoilers.
Fett's always getting his butt kicked in the Book of Boba, so
Oh
yeah.
man, oh that was bad. Yeah, episode 3. Oh, I feel bad for him. Oh
Okay, let's
jeez,
go to
getting thrown around in
number
his diaper.
let's go to number 8. Number 8 for me is Black Widow. Yes. Again, I tried to not let that, like, the timeline and everything affect me. Scarlett Johansson deserved a movie, you know, long before this came out, and none of that is her fault. Also, um,
No,
I I think it's great that she. Side note, I think it's great that she, won that lawsuit rightfully so, and was able to get all that money back because Disney was they were being jerks. Um,
true, very true.
and and she's a great actress, and she's done so much for Disney and Marvel for a really long time now. But anyways, I liked a lot of things about the Black Widow film. I thought all the actors and actresses did a great job. A lot of times Florence Pugh really steals the show. Um,
I was gonna
I
say
thought I
she's like the
thought
best
David
part.
Harbour. Yeah, I thought David Harbour was really funny too, though. The
Hmm.
humor with him really worked for me, just being that um, embarrassing dad, and it, the whole thing with him wanting to just like not let go of the glory days. I love that so much. I thought it was awesome. And then
Yeah,
even like these cute moments, like when they're singing American Pie, the two of them, that was great. um Also, the opening scene, I think, really um was
that
probably
really.
that was my favorite part of the movie, is the opening
Hmm.
scene. It it was like actually really emotional to me, because you really see how Natasha's whole life and all of her experiences affected her so much at a young age. And that really struck a chord with me. So yeah, definitely had some issues, and with the film, I thought Taskmaster um was underutilized and um, underdeveloped a lot. Uh, the whole twist that they did there didn't quite land with me. But maybe they could still do something more with Taskmaster later.
Wasn't
But
it
aside,
his daughter or something?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But aside from that, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it looked great too.
yeah.
So yeah, number 8 is Black Widow for me. What do you got?
Mhm. So I'm looking at my list right now. I'm trying to rework it in my head as fast as possible. I think, you know what, for me, I'm gonna put these other two shows probably higher that I have. So I think for my number 8, I'm gonna go with Loki. Um, I'll put Loki at number 8 just because, like kind of Dom said, it kind of lost me at the end. Like with the ending, there was like it was one of those shows again that had a lot of promise, but kind of flopped at the end. Um, I enjoyed learning about Sylvie. Like that was a pretty cool part of the show. I enjoyed Sylvie's character. I enjoyed Loki's character. I'm excited to see where it takes us in this like Marvel universe. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about it yet in any other shows or movies that have come out. I'm expecting to hear about it, like everything that happened in that show with um, the TVA and all that stuff. Um, that's my issue with Loki, is that then that was kind of like my issue with Eternals, even though I haven't talked about it yet, is that it's kind of out there on its own right now. It's kind of just out there. No one no one knows what's going on with it. It kind of isn't doing anything. It hasn't affected anyone. Um, but
It's almost like
again,
a
like
one shot, or like its own thing.
mm-hmm.
Almost has that feel.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of out there, and it's a great, like, it's cool. I enjoyed it, but I just don't see where it's landing right now. That's why I put it at number 8. But Tom Hiddleston killed it. I think his acting is phenomenal, especially as Loki. So he did good. But yeah, I couldn't put it higher. It just kind of ended confusingly. Uh, the last monologue episode was an entire monologue that I didn't care about. It was, I don't know. It could have wrapped up better. So I'll put it at number 8. I like that sitting at number 8.
Nice. Nice. Um,
What you
yeah, no,
got, bro? Number 7. What do you
yeah,
got?
let's do it.
Oh
Let's do
no.
it.
Oh no, I'm excited to see where you're putting everything, dude. Because like, I threw those two Marvel shows or whatever in the trash. I put Black Widow and I put Falcon Winter Soldier in the trash, and
All right,
you threw
number 7.
WandaVision in there. I can't
Here
believe it.
here it is. Number 7 for me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh shoot.
Um, so this is not my highest ranked because um my list is based on a mixture of enjoyment and quality, like what I actually think is like higher quality. However, with these Marvel shows, it wasn't at the top for me necessarily. I didn't find the most enjoyment, but I will say that I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was done the best, and I felt like it was like um, I do think it was the strongest Marvel show, in my opinion. Um, and a huge reason for that.
Was the music.
The music was great. I think the biggest reason for me was Bucky and being able
Mm.
to learn more about him, have some more backstory. Um, I just really liked his character arc, and the stuff with him and Yuri, and you know and also, you know what, going back to my point of sacrifice, Bucky sacrifices at the end.
Oh,
um Quick little spoiler here, he sacrifices his friendship in order to give that friend closure, for the situation that happened with his son, for the death of his son. He was also willing to sacrifice how that person would look at him for the rest of his life. um and I love that. I thought it was really, really good. uh
see,
the fight scenes were really strong to me. um
you're just
yeah,
saying what I feel, man.
I, I'll just say a couple more things, and I'll let you chime in here.
Oh
The
no,
fight
no, no,
scenes were
go
really
for it.
good for me. My favorite episode was the scene. Well, I think it was a lot of people's favorite episode is when they go to the bar, and even Zemo is like dancing a little bit. But yeah,
Oh, that scene.
when Bucky has to pretend that he's still the Winter Soldier, and just he goes pretty nuts in the bar in that one scene. I thought that was awesome.
That's
Uh,
cool, yeah.
and I know you said something along the lines of I guess like visually like looking like the CW, but I don't know if you meant that just for some things in particular. But I thought um I
Just
think
a
for me,
suit. That
oh
was it.
okay, just that
His
suit.
his suit just looked so cheap and plastic. I don't know, man. It just looked
Because
bad.
yeah, for me, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier also looked the best out of the Marvel shows. Um,
Yeah.
and I like the stuff with Sam as well. It's just I related more to Bucky, and I think you know just his story, and dealing with like letting go of your past, or trying to make amends, stuff like that is just relatable to anyone. So
Hmm.
yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, number 7.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it pretty much for like what you said. People are gonna hate me a lot for saying this, but if that show was just called like The Winter Soldier, like it probably would have done a lot better in my eyes. I cared a lot more for Bucky's story and how he had to like give up the shield. He didn't really want it. Like if you just took like Falcon out and just had like it be a kind of a Bucky story, and then him having to like fight this new guy that wants to be Captain America that's clearly not his friend, like that was what was so interesting to me, about that show. The politics and all the other stuff was just got in the way for me. So
Yeah, didn't care for much of the politics. I definitely understand how a lot of this stuff with Sam is really um like
he's just he's
special
Falcon,
to
bro.
other people and like relatable to other people, but I felt like the stuff that going on with Bucky is just relatable to any person. Um
Yeah.
and I mean, the other thing I would say is that I also really like their dynamics, and I
Mm,
liked that, which I feel like you kind of knew like they were gonna, butt heads like they always do, and then want to go separate ways, but then come
yeah.
together in the end and realize that they're like, that they need each other, that they're like brothers, they're like family. So I did really enjoy that too.
Hmm. I do have to say, I think that Falcon and Winter Soldier was probably the most predictable show. Kind
Yeah.
of, like you kind of knew where it was going. You're like, oh shoot, like this guy's definitely gonna get a vial. John Walker's definitely gonna be a super
Right.
soldier. Like
Right.
you kind of just knew where everything was going the whole time, and that's why it just didn't do it for me. Um, which is, I don't know, funny because I have really terrible things that I like this year, so I'll just throw my numbers out there and get a lot of flack for it. So I did Loki last time. Um, I'm gonna have to do this show. It's not a popular show by any means, but I enjoyed it because I am particularly a fan of this Pixar franchise. But the Monsters Inc. show, honestly, it it was a delight to watch. For me personally, I've been waiting for the show. It feels like forever. So I was just happy to get it. But here's the thing, it's kind of the opposite of all the Marvel shows. You're gonna watch the show, you're gonna put it on, and you're gonna be like, okay, like what the heck is happening? Like this is starting off like kind of slow. Like I'm not really feeling it. The first two episodes are good. It kind of gets you acclimated, and then it kind of loses you a little bit with kind of Bad Batch style, like kind of doing these kind of like missions that they're just your character development. But by the end of the show, that's the entire show is like the last episode. um you finally get to see this main guy Tyler that joined Monsters Inc. the day that it closed down and stopped scaring people. He got in there as a scare, and now he has to be a jokester. And so it's this whole show about him trying to figure out like how to be funny because he wants to be on the laugh floor. And he finally gets his opportunity to do so, and he gets to show everybody that like he's um, been taking a lot of seriousness to this job that he wants and going to all these humor classes. Um, and he just needed to like find himself and the humor in himself to like bring it out to make people laugh. I don't know. It's a stupid show that I loved so much, and you're only gonna love it and when you get through all of it and you get to see like the direction they're going to take the universe, the monsters universe, and then you also get to see like the payoff of him and his journey with his friends and like who's helping him on this path to redemption to try to save a company that's falling under. So it's a good show. I enjoyed it. The
No, yeah,
ending covered it. Yeah.
I got to see a little bit of it, and I really like that about it. How basically the story that they're setting up, like you mentioned, how he thought he was gonna go in there and be a scare, but then he realizes that he needs to adapt to the company's new direction and make people laugh. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought that I was gonna get a lot more. I actually pitched a story of what they should do, and it was way better than what they did. But uh, you can't complain too much when you get Monsters Inc. So I'm down for it. Give me Mike Wazowski, and I'm happy.
Nice, nice. Well, we will move on to number 6. But yeah, guys, if you're watching live or on the replay, um, continue to chime in and let us know how you're enjoying our list. Give us your list, or even just fire in some one shots of movies or shows that you really enjoyed, some of your favorites from 2021. But we will keep on going with ours. Number 6 for me, to my own surprise, was Hawkeye. Um,
Oh,
Again, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the strongest and like well produced Marvel show, in my opinion. But I had the most fun and just the most enjoyment watching Hawkeye.
That was a
The
good one. Yeah.
the two, like the duo and the dynamics with um, Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, I enjoyed the most. I think they worked really well. I'm excited to see where Kate Bishop's character goes. They set up a lot of really cool stuff. I'm trying not to give a whole lot of spoilers in here. There might be a
Yeah,
couple. There might be a
it's
couple of little
tough.
things here and there um, that we throw out. So fair warning. A couple of little mini spoilers here and there, but I'll try not to. Um,
Yeah, it's fine, bro. The
so
spoilers made the show, so
no, but they did a lot of great stuff with that. Um, I think the low points, like with the tracksuit mafia, I think that's really the, I guess, the downfall of the show, or the negative thing that I would take out of the show.
whoa.
Didn't like the tracksuit mafia, but um, it's like the things that are kind of like um negative, all the positive stuff outweighs all of that, in my opinion. And again, like all of the other Marvel shows, feel like um, the finale had a tough time as well. Um, but it still set up a lot, still set up quite a bit with the big reveals in that, and we won't get into that here, but
It's okay.
um
I'll spoil it all for you later, bro.
but exciting stuff for sure, and just a great adventure story, and I don't know, found it really interesting. Um, yeah, I never really thought I would enjoy it as much as I did, especially going off of the trailers. It just like didn't strike me as anything super interesting. Um, but yeah, I think their dynamics and the adventure and um, some of the fight choreography was just or like mediocre, subpar sometimes, um but then there's one really really good one um with the character of Echo and Hawkeye that's just really good, and actually probably my favorite moment in that story too, is this fight that ends up having this kind of emotional conclusion to it as well. And like the sign language stuff really worked for me with Echo. So yeah, Hawkeye number 6 for me.
Hawkeye, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, I'll get there later. Get there later.
I wonder
But
if we have any of the. I think that we have number 1 as the same, but I wonder if
I
any
wanted to
others
add.
will have the same.
I wanted everyone to take a bet in the chat to see if they could guess our number one. But I actually might change up my number one just to throw everyone off.
Really? Okay.
I might, dude, because honestly,
I changed my
I'll,
list
I'll
last minute. I changed it last minute,
I've been changing it kind of as we go.
but
Honestly,
before we started the show though.
okay, yeah, no. I just knew I couldn't put some of these where I just texted. So for my number six, I'm gonna have to put the show. Dom didn't like it. I liked it for my own reasons. WandaVision is gonna be my number six. And Dom kind of explained why he was voting on what he voted for, and for me, I kind of want to put WandaVision higher on my list just because it was so impactful for me, and I feel like Marvel fans in general when this first came out after the pandemic. I remember sitting on the edge of my seat every week, like watching an episode, like trying to find Easter eggs for anything I possibly could find. Like it was a treasure hunt. Everybody was involved. Like the hype around it was just immense. I thoroughly enjoyed what they did with all the different generations of TV. You know, going from like black and white to the modern day. I watched a lot of those shows, so it was very nostalgic for me to kind of see like what they
Yeah.
wanted to do with it. There was a lot to enjoy except for the ending. And that's where it just lost me. I would put WandaVision as a complete disappointment for me if it just came out 2 months ago. But the fact that I've like been able to sit with it for a little while, I'm okay with it, especially comparatively when I look at the other shows that they came out with, i.e. Loki, Falcon, Winter Soldier just really didn't do it for me. So WandaVision, it was more like the feeling and the community around what was happening at that point in time that was like so special. Like I don't even know if I'm ever gonna feel that again. Uh, just because it was like in kind of like end game level hype, just because we've been bare and had nothing, and
Yeah.
it was so much fun, just like kind of living in that moment with everybody. So that's why I put WandaVision at 6 for me. It sucked at the end, but it was a fantastic. It was a great ride. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Until we crashed into a mountain, but hey,
Had the
we
hype
got there.
train for sure.
Yeah, we had fun while we crashed into that mountain.
Yeah.
So
You know, my favorite moment in that show is actually in one of the middle episodes, because Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, they did incredible, and I'll even go as far as to say that that's their best performance with both of those characters, in my opinion.
definitely,
Um, but this really big argument that happens between the two of them when they're in the house, when Vision is finally starting to understand that she's controlling him, and he says something like, "You don't get to make that decision for me."
Mhm.
Um, just like that whole moment was one of my favorite parts of the show. Um, Thought that they just did a phenomenal job as the characters,
Dude, and
for
like
sure.
there's so many different scenes. I honestly, I not even just them, dude, but I think that WandaVision had probably some of the best, what would they even be called? Supporting actors.
Oh yeah,
Like, dude, the husband and wife, like the head of the girls' club or whatever with her husband. Like,
yeah,
there were so many funny one-liners that they said, like when the power went out, and she's like, does this dress look bad? He's like, oh, thank God, because he like doesn't want to answer. Like, there were so many parts that like there's just cracked me up. But yeah, I think it was probably their best performance. Definitely made me teary-eyed. Them sitting in their room and he's talking about love and letting go. A lot of impactful moments, dude. That's all I can say. Is like when I look back, I could think of so many moments from that show that were like, holy smokes! Like when she turns around and Vision is like a corpse, and people were like, oh, like people were astonished to see like dead Vision walking around. So
yeah.
I don't know. I loved it. I loved it.
Thanks, man. All right, number 5. Let's do it.
Do it.
Number 5 for me was Star Wars Visions, the first Star Wars animated series. Um, I really really liked it. I was able to actually watch this on the airplane on my way to Disneyland, where I then purchased some Star Wars Visions merch. Um,
Heck yeah, bro.
uh,
I love it.
all of the episodes, I believe it's, if I can remember, it's like 9 or 10 episodes. All of them are their own like one-offs by different artists and storytellers, Japanese storytellers, and they're very much anime, but they really pay homage to the samurai story, even like westerns, stuff that we know still
Yeah.
um inspired George Lucas. And to have them, I guess, kind of amplify those elements of samurai stuff, amplify the uh like the Japanese inspiration even more, I thought was really cool in a lot of ways, whether it was like certain types of lightsabers or certain battles. Um, Also, like they added some really great moments of like mystery to certain characters. Um, there's so many of the episodes that I absolutely love. Like episode 1, the duel, was incredible. You get this awesome original character of who we can um you know, only suspect is a Sith killer, even though he's neither Jedi or Sith. But he's, uh, a total bad lad, um, with having all of these red crystals inside of his cloak that he's taken
Oh
from the
shoot.
sabers of the Sith that he's brought down. Um, uh, Pretty awesome. And oh, the other, I think what's become my favorite episode, and I'll try to keep this brief, but what's become my favorite episode is the Elder. It's called the Elder. The reason for this is because um, it's this really awesome adventure with this master and Padawan, and it felt like the young Qui-Gon Obi-Wan story that I always wanted to see, like a Qui-Gon Obi-Wan adventure I always wanted to see. And just what's so great about this show is that sometimes we're really lacking in Star Wars content. We're really lacking with the lightsaber fights and with the force powers and
Mhm.
with um and we're definitely lacking on learning more about Jedi and Sith. Um and kyber crystals and all that stuff, and they give you so much of that, um and so much story with the force, Sith, Jedi, all of that stuff. And if you're just like a huge Star Wars fan like me, I think you'll really love it. So definitely Star Wars Visions, you have to check it out.
So you really liked that show basically for like the lure that you got, the animations they used, and the action sequences.
Yeah, and yeah, all of those things. I mean, I really liked some of those stories too. And the first episode that I mentioned, called The Duel with Master Ronan, is his name, actually has gotten a book too about that character. But I and all of these are non-canon, by the way,
Oh,
um
okay.
for now. But I really do believe that one or more of these stories will really stick and resonate with the fans, and that we'll be able to see some of them more either in other shows or in films. Ronan is definitely one that I would really like to see later on.
Is it disappointing to you that this kind of like takes place like pre everything and that you probably won't see these characters like interact with the ones that you already know?
No,
Or
not really, because we're also lacking in Old Republic stuff too.
true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta watch that series, at least the episodes you told me to watch. So I gotta check that out. I did
Oh,
used to
and
watch what was that?
uh, I'm sorry, I was also going to mention the Ninth Jedi was also one of my favorite episodes. It has an amazing twist at the very end,
Okay.
um, and a really cool story based on also this relationship between a daughter and her father who builds lightsabers for the Jedi. Um, and then yeah, it just has a really great ending.
Yeah, I gotta check it. I gotta check it out, man. You keep telling me. You keep telling me.
Ryan says, "Visions. I like how each one is animated differently, so you see different styles." Yeah, that was really awesome. I thought the music was incredible too. Also nice that they are short episodes, so it's not a huge commitment of time to enjoy it. That's my other main thing too. Is I think for a lot of people,
Sorry.
hear a motorcycle going by, no problem. I think this is a
There's a
big
biker gang.
thing. Maybe it's the Moss Vespas.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly yeah. Freaking the Vespa's coming through town, man. I
but
can't.
this I think is a big thing for a lot of people, especially in our time now that we're living in it, because everyone is addicted to short form content. Is actually um I don't know, a blessing and a curse
It
in
also
some
kind
in some ways, because TikTok is so huge, but it's
of
it's making people's attention span grow or decrease quite a bit.
quite a bit, quite a
Quite a
bit.
bit. That's the bad thing about it,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
but don't give me an hour and a half Venom movie, okay? Give me a 3 hour Venom movie.
So yeah, low, not a huge commitment too. So Um,
And they're not all connected. Like you could
no,
watch
they're
an
not connected.
episode like here or there. Like you don't have to sit down for 10 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah, but those
Okay.
three that I mentioned are definitely the best stories and the best to look at too. The Duel, episode 1, and The Elder, and The Ninth Jedi.
The Ninth
So
Jedi. All right. I'll have to check this out. Um,
you will like
for,
the ending. You'll like the ending of The Ninth
then
Jedi.
and I bet I will. I'm sure it has to do with a lot of death, and hopefully it's violent because then I'll be happy.
If I know you, you'll like the ending.
As long as I'm crying, I'm happy. Um, so for me, my number five, it's another under the radar TV show that I really got to just soak in. It was nostalgia again for me, just like Monsters Inc., where I've been waiting for the show for a while. And when it came out, I was super stoked. And I ended up actually enjoying 95% of it, which is a big time for me. It was the Mighty Ducks Game Changers at my number five.
Nice.
Super nostalgic. Yeah, dude, you get to see some old characters come back. I don't want to ruin everything for you guys, but you get some nostalgia. It's Bombay. I ruined it for you. You get Bombay
He's
back,
in the
dude.
trailers. He's in the trailers.
Okay, he is, huh? Okay. So you get him back. I mean, it's a good, like, fresh start story. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe they make the Ducks the bad guys in this one. It's like, yeah, they had to. Like, we're going back, guys. Like, you can't do the same story again. Like, we need redemption for this. It was fantastic. I loved all the kids in it. All the kids did really good acting. The story was great. And one of my favorite things, okay, I can't ruin it, but I'm gonna ruin it. If you know me, you know why I like the show, and it's because not everybody ends up happy at the end. So there's a
Mm.
lot of growth. There's a lot of character development, and this is one of the series that like left me that I watched where I was like, dude, I cannot wait to see season two. Like what happens in season two, because you know they're coming back with vengeance. You know they're gonna get all their stuff back together. I'm just excited. It's year two, so they're coming in firing, and I'm excited for it. Just give me Mighty Ducks season two, and I'll be okay.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel bad that I didn't put this on my list because I like you, I'm a huge Mighty Ducks fan. That's one of my um all-time favorite movies and series.
Mm-hmm.
Uh but I grew up with that movie and like to this day that's just like such a feel-good movie for me.
It is,
Um
yeah.
and yeah, I always had a passion for like I haven't done it yet, but I've always wanted to like learn how to skate and play real ice hockey because of that. So maybe one day we'll
Well, you're
see.
in Washington, right? They
Yeah,
got ice around there, so
definitely. It's definitely possible. I could make it happen. Um, but yeah, I also really it's not on my list, but it was one of my honorable mentions, and I do really like that show. I'm looking forward to season 2 as well.
100%, yeah.
I just wish they brought back Charlie. That would have been
I
cool.
know. Well, they didn't even, huh? Even in that episode, they didn't bring him back. You're right,
No.
at all. I wonder. I gotta look that up. I gotta see why they didn't. Maybe he's not in a good place. That's my assumption.
Yeah, but he still does a couple things here and there, I believe, but
Okay.
yeah, not sure.
Yeah. Oh well, missed opportunity. He'll come back for season two.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what they saved him for, bro. Season two finale. They're gonna do the V wing. Oh, it's gonna be great. I'm sorry, I get really hyped about Mighty Ducks, guys. I'm so
The
sorry.
flying V,
The
yeah,
flying
classic.
V.
All right, so we will move
This
on to
is
number 4. We do have to finish up
soon. Yeah.
before 6. So all right, let's move on.
Oh,
Number 4.
we're getting into hot water now, though.
Yeah, we are.
This is where you don't know what to put because you're kind of sitting there like,
Oh,
ooh,
I know, man.
oh, you know.
And so I finally finished this movie. I haven't done a review on it just yet, but I will be doing a review on it. Maybe you'll even be on the review. We'll see. At number 4, I am putting Marvel Eternals. Um, sorry, Jake. I know you didn't care for this movie as much, but
I liked it better than
um,
Shang-Chi.
I thought, and I need to see it a couple more times too. Um, but I thought it was really good. I think hands down, this is the best looking Marvel movie out of all
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Um, I think if
Yeah.
one thing is certain, you look at this and you up against any of the other Marvel movies, that they're doing something different for sure.
Yeah.
Um, very good quality visuals, cinematography is amazing, but also who is it? Zoe.
I got some things I gotta actually talk to you about this because I
Okay,
want to know your opinion about it, about some of the characters that we haven't talked about. But
or
Zoe,
is it Chloe Zhao? Is that
oh,
it?
it's Chloe. Yeah, Chloe.
Chloe
You
Zhao.
you're talking about the
She
director?
Yeah, she's known
Yeah.
for having these, really great visuals, but yeah, it's stunning visually. Um, like I kind of mentioned before, kind of funny, but like how I mentioned with Raya and the Last Dragon, the two are very opposites because in Raya, and of course it's an animated show, but I'm drawing like these similarities with Raya. A lot of it is having faith in humanity. In Eternals is doubting humanity. Um,
That's very true.
I thought that I had this movie spoiled for me too. Um, and I was even watching it and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the part that so and so, spoiled for me or the internet spoiled for me." And then I was wrong, and then we had the big twist. And at first, and I'm not going to spoil the twist for anybody. At first, I was like a little bit bummed about the twist because I was kind of hoping for a different outcome, but then I just kind of let it play out. And then when you, I guess, like really think about, you
Are you
know,
talking about Athena? That twist that
no,
you were
and I'm
expecting?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, kind of about her character, but I'm not going to go in. I don't want to spoil this movie.
I won't either
Um,
yet.
but yeah, I mean, I thought the characters were all pretty awesome. Some of them a lot more than others. Icarus is my favorite character. He, of course, is like the Superman type of character. Thought he was awesome. I really liked a lot of these battle scenes too. The final battle I thought was awesome. Um,
Yeah.
Makari is also this is the best in my opinion, but I think it's really um I think it's really plain to see if you watch this movie. This is the best portrayal of a speedster, you know?
Mm-hmm. Dude,
Um,
she was my favorite character the whole movie, like bar none. I think.
yeah, I mean, it just it doesn't get better than like the visuals and how they used her powers because we always see a speedster and they always like to slow down everything. Um, and they didn't do that with this, and she was just awesome. I really liked Cersei as well. Oh, but I was gonna say real quick, I hope that DC takes, a page out of Marvel's book with developing like the Flash and stuff because that's how I want to see the Flash, fight and move. Um, is the way that they did Makari. They really did her powers justice with her super speed. Um, Cersei, I thought was awesome. I liked the relationship between her and Icarus. Salma Hayek as Ajak was really awesome. She definitely was like she was the leader, but also played like this mother type of role to
Mm-hmm.
all of them. Um, Great, I think context and development of her character later too. Um, and and I think Angelina Jolie did an amazing job in this as well. Um,
Dude, I love
I've heard
Angelina.
other
Yeah.
people say that this is one of her best performances as a character. Um, the way that she moved in battle too was very cool. It was like a very elegant um way of fighting, and then it was complemented by the way that she uses her powers to create like her shield and her sword or spear. Um, and yeah, and she has a cool story arc as well.
Mm.
Um, and then yeah, I the twist at the end, I just really enjoyed it, and just you know, it's not for everybody because this Marvel movie with Eternals is very different than um your I guess your normal Marvel movies or the Marvel movies that we're used to seeing. It stands out like me and Jake had mentioned as being something kind of out of left field a little bit, but for me it really worked. Um and I hope other people can find enjoyment in it too. And I think the music was great. So yeah, I want to watch it more. I want to do a review on it pretty soon. I finally got to watch it. It was one of those movies that I try to stay up to date with everything, but it was one of those movies where I just got very busy at the time and wasn't able to watch it when it came out. And now that it's on Disney Plus, I got to finally see it, and yeah, I can't wait to talk about it some more.
Yeah, dude. Eternals was great visually. Some of the story was good. A little bit was annoying. I do have to say that Sprite was getting on my nerves the entire movie, and I could love this movie so much more without her in it.
That's how I felt about the is it like Drago or Dragus? Whatever his
The powerful guy, the
the
guy
guy that can
protecting Thena.
no, the guy that can control minds, the kid that control minds.
Really?
Um,
Okay, because he's one of the one I liked. I liked him
okay,
and the speedster. Like I loved that like relationship that they had, and I loved that
yeah,
he like how he was towards humans. Like I liked his character. I
he was just a
think
little over the top for me sometimes.
was he?
Yeah,
I feel like he was probably like
I didn't like his bad attitude sometimes, but
I didn't like his bad. That's yeah. He did get on my nerves a couple of times, but by the end of it, I was like, dude, I love this guy. Like no wonder. Um, but yeah, it was visually stunning. There was just like it was more of like continuity for me. Like, why didn't you help out with that stuff? Why did you help out with other stuff? Dude, bro, you made the atomic bomb that got dropped on Hiroshima, but you didn't do anything else for humanity. Like, yeah, you probably should feel bad about that. Probably because
yeah,
you left us to die on a lot of occasions, and then you killed us with an atomic bomb. So kind of on you, bro. So there was like some things in it that I was just like, why? And it was like I was waiting for it. There was, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
the other thing I wanted to say is this movie has a lot of depth to it,
Mm-hmm.
and for some people it's too much. It's probably going to be too much. Um, but this kind of like running theme as far as like we are the good guys. Oh wait, maybe we've always been the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that. Um, to me, it reminds me very much of like Christopher Nolan because he's always having you kind of question a lot of the characters and their motives, um, and like who really is trustworthy, who really is someone that you can put like um, faith in, and who you can like stand behind. So I really like stuff like that. I think that was the biggest thing about the theme of the movie that really worked for me.
Yeah, it was a very big. The whole movie was basically just like a moral conflict.
Yeah,
And
exactly,
how do you
exactly.
deal with it with your family? Do you go against your family? Like, what if someone doesn't agree with it? You know, so like, the concept of the movie was good. It didn't need to be 3 hours long for me to enjoy it. That's what really kills me with that movie is like if I would love to rewatch that movie, but I know that when I sit down, I'm sitting there for 2.5 hours, just like, and it's not, it ain't no Spider-Man No Way Home 3 hours. Okay, it's like gonna take you a long time to get through it with walking scenes and talking scenes and
Yeah,
but it was good. Like I said, dude, I actually enjoyed this movie more than Shang-Chi. Both these movies kind of fell towards the middle for me because I didn't go see them in theaters, and I just I told you before the show, it's just like hard for me to get really interested until I there's more development in a character and they've had loss or there's been something that kind of like makes me relate to them or like pulls me in. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie for sure. I already know that your next one is. I already know what your next one is.
no, you
But
don't.
I'm
Well, we got to run through the. We
yeah,
got
I'm
to
gonna
run.
run through mine. So my fourth one is Hawkeye, and I'll keep it short and sweet. This show was super grounded and brought me back to like a regular Marvel show. It was, and it's hard for me to say that it's grounded just because I have the same like Falcon Winter Soldier was kind of grounded. It was grounded, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. Like this Hawkeye series for me, I loved seeing Kate Bishop, and I, for whatever reason, love Jeremy Renner. He's probably one of my favorite people on the actual cast. I just think he's like a great guy. I love him in his interviews. Him and Paul Rudd are classic. Like this guy's banter is perfect. I think he like encapsulates Hawkeye, like the character, super well. Um, and I was really looking forward to the show. It was more, it wasn't like I thought it was going to be, where it was a Kate Bishop show. It was, and anyone that says
Yeah,
that this was a Kate Bishop show is clearly not watching this show. Like this is a Hawkeye show about Hawkeye. He's teaching someone
he had
that's
his
not as good.
moments. Yeah,
Yeah, he might be teaching someone, but like it's not her show, like by any means. It's about him getting back to his family, trying to live a life, trying to honor Natasha Romanoff. And Black Widow was a disappointment to me. And this show, at the end of it, last episode, I was like, dude, this is a way better send off to Black Widow than her own movie was. And it kind of blew me away. I was
mm,
like, this is like a more emotionally like entangling for me, saying her sister and this guy that was her best friend that couldn't save her, that tried sacrificing himself for her, like have this conversation. Like that was a way better send off to me than her movie was for whatever reason. It hit me a lot harder in the show, and seeing him deal with the trauma of losing that person like was a big part of the show. And dude, I loved every part of it. I had to go back. I watched Daredevil for the first time because of this series. uh I'm not going to say anything else besides that. If you want to watch the series and find out why I watched Daredevil, watch the series. But it brings in so much, and I think it's setting up a lot more. Like I like this setup more than I liked WandaVision setup, Loki setup, or Falcon Winter Soldier setup. Like what they did to introduce what's happening next in New York City for me is like I was like, dang, like I'm excited for this. Like it's about to get real up in here. So that's Hawkeye for me was number one, hands down, best show for Marvel this year. But
nice. Yeah, it was just a really fun ride.
it was, yeah. And you said you didn't like the tracksuit mafia. I loved them. I thought I found so
Oh,
much
okay.
humor. I did. I was actually like gonna buy a red jumpsuit for today because how much I
That would
loved
have been
it.
awesome.
I seriously, I got such a kick out of them. Yeah, I just loved it. Echo, we'll see what happens in her series. I mean, I can get behind it, but it was a good series. That's just my opinion. Anyways, that's my number four.
Nice. Moving on.
This is where
Number
it gets
three.
sticky. This is where it gets sticky.
Number three. Let's do this, man.
Oh shoot.
Number three for me is Dune.
Whoa. Okay.
Um, this movie is definitely a masterpiece, and it's something very, very special. Um, and shout out to those people who were able to see it in the theater and have a really good experience there too. Because
I
you
didn't.
want the best watching experience that you possibly can get with this film. Um, it's on a whole nother level of production, and I think a lot of studios and creators can really learn from this movie when it comes to producing films and composing um, music and stuff, and even the storytelling too. It's just uh, it's something that I think that it'll age extremely well and should kind of be looked at as, in my opinion, like a new standard of filmmaking, because it just does a lot of things very well. And I've also heard people, you know, say that it's done an incredible job. I can't attest to this myself because I haven't read the book, but a lot of people are saying
Yeah.
that it's nearly a perfect interpretation from the book to on screen.
Really?
They didn't stray too much at all from the written pages. So that's very cool. Every single actor brings their A game. This is the first time that I've seen Jason Momoa and like really liked his acting chops. Um, he did a great job, and I was invested in his character too. It has some great twists as well to the story for me. You know, what's the main actor? Um,
Oh, the kid.
yeah, what is
I
that?
have no idea, dude.
That's gonna bug me too. I'll remember it in a little bit. Um,
I think
main
it's a
act.
weird name too. I'll find it right now.
Okay, go ahead and find it. I'll move on to Oscar Isaac is probably he's definitely one of my favorite characters in this film. Um, his character like really shines. He's like he's the dad that everybody wants, really. He's that protective dad, and also truly believes in his kids and stuff. Did you get the name?
Yeah, Timothy
Tell me,
Chalamet.
Chalamet, yeah. Timothy Chalamet does an incredible job in this film too. Um, and yeah, just the entire cast.
His
They brought their
mom did so
brought their A
good
game.
too.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's it's an
I won't even
incredible
talk about
film.
it.
It's
What
an incredible
happens?
film. Um, yeah. I'm curious to know. I don't remember what the end results were for the box office, um, but this was still kind of it. Had, I want to say that it had been delayed, but also it was HBO hasn't done the best too with how they go
Yeah.
about putting out their films on streaming too. It's kind of cost them some money, but it's also a little bit still within that awkward period of the pandemic, and of the streaming and going into the theaters, that awkward period. uh but no, this movie, you know it's just so good. Yeah,
Uh, I'm not
loved
gonna
it.
comment on it because I gotta talk about it later.
Okay, what's your
Um,
number three?
okay, so my number three. Dom hasn't seen this yet. So if he did see it, this would be his number three, and I'll just let him take a pass. I'll let him take a pass on this one. Um, but listen, everybody out there listening to me right now, this was the year of Sony. Um, Sony destroyed every other company this year. It was not even close to what Sony did with how much money they made. And on that note, Ghostbusters was a fantastic film. If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, go watch Ghostbusters. It is such a good movie. If you loved the first two movies, especially the first movie, you are going to just adore this movie. It is a phenomenal movie. It pays so much back to what the first two movies were, and on top of that, the acting in it was fantastic. The kids, definitely Stranger Things kind of vibes I heard, but like not really. Um, the little girl in this movie, I forget her name, is phenomenal as an actress. I was a little disappointed at the end because it doesn't really seem like they're gonna take that franchise, like this new Ghostbusters, and extend it. Like I don't think I'm gonna see the same people come back. I don't think I'm gonna see the kids come back. Hopefully, I do. But if you want to just sit down, watch a nostalgic movie, have a couple of good laughs with Paul Rudd, and see some ghosts getting their butts kicked, go watch this movie because it is phenomenal. It pays the old movies like off so well. It ties in so well. If you see this movie, you won't be disappointed, and that's just the bottom line. Ghostbusters was fantastic, visually, comically, story wise, perfect in my opinion.
All right, nice. Moving on to number two. Got to start wrapping things up here.
Mm-hmm.
um Number two, let's do it. Yeah. Another one we're gonna disagree about, but hey, that's okay. I think it's fun. I think it's fun hearing each other's list and having it be different too. It
Hmm.
makes things better. Um,
Yeah.
Number two for me is Shang-Chi. I was really surprised how much I like this too. And if you haven't seen my review on it, I encourage you guys to check that out. It's actually one of the episodes that I'm most proud of doing. Like my most proud most proud of shows. One of the episodes that I'm most proud of doing solo on the channel. Um, I I had a lot of fun doing that review. Um, and yeah, this movie was really great in my opinion. I thought the fight choreography was awesome, visually stunning. Really liked the CGI when it came to the powers and abilities of the Ten Rings. Um, the dad, I thought a lot of times he stole the show. Um, and I am surprised that how much I really enjoyed the little kids, their portrayal of both Shang-Chi and the sisters Young. Um, they were awesome. These little kid actors, they were so good. It's like ridiculous.
They took it very
Um,
seriously.
yeah, I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever seen better actors than these little kids, even though they didn't have a whole lot of screen time. But I just felt like I was like, I could never do anything like this, like convey all of these emotions properly, uh, for this
Yeah.
for a show or movie like this when I was that age. And like they're just like very talented. I'm sure they're probably going to do great things. Um,
Yeah.
I love this. I love the story. It was very, family oriented. Um, so many things about family when it came to the relationship, brother sister relationship, which really hit home for me. Um, a lot of times I felt like I connected with my own relationship with my sisters, which I thought was cool. Um,
You beat up your
yeah,
sisters often.
not like that though,
Cage
not
match by your
not like that.
sisters.
The mother son relationship also hit home, and then the father and son relationship, just really really good. Um, yeah, check out Shang-Chi if you haven't, and check out my review on the channel.
Gotta check out the review. Um, for me, my number two, and I want to make everybody really mad, but I'm not going to because I know we got to wrap up, and I feel like once we just get this one out of the way, then our number ones are probably both the same, and we can discuss them pretty quickly. So my number two, and it's a tough one because I really do want to put it at number one, is Dune, and I want to put it at number one. It was like everything Dom said was 100% true. Visually fantastic, storytelling amazing. Like what we got from each one of those actors was their best performance. It felt like in that movie. Momoa, I've never seen him act like that. That was big time for me. I do not like Jason Momoa. I think he's a terrible actor. Saw this movie. I was like, all right, maybe this guy can act. I'm digging this. Unfortunately, if you've seen the movie, I'm not. We probably won't see him again. That's all I'm gonna say. But Dune, phenomenal movie, great storytelling, visually awesome. I put it at number two. I want to put it at number one just because the excitement that I have to go watch the next Dune movies is so much more hyped than the number one movie that we have, just because we kind of don't have anything going for us on this number one movie. We're kind of waiting, but the most excited franchise I'm like waiting for is Dune for sure. That's gonna be consuming my life the next 5 years. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. I hope they keep building it because this is going to rival Star Wars for sure. With the people that like this movie, there's going to be Dune people and Star Wars people now, and I just feel like that's the way it's going to go. Star Trek, I'm sorry, you're not in the conversation anymore. Okay, you had your chance, it's ruined. So I'm excited. Yeah, Dune's my number two.
Awesome. Well, we have come to the moment where we talk about our number one of 2021. and I believe you and I have the exact same movie.
Hmm.
Spider-Man: No Way Home, correct?
Oh, there was a new Dora Explorer movie that came out about Swiper that I was actually gonna go off about. No, yes,
Clifford,
no way. Yeah,
Clifford.
Clifford. Yeah, Clifford is my number one movie of the year. No, yeah, No Way Home, man. That was the best.
Like
No
Jake said
cast.
before, Sony takes the win this year. Um, Again, similar to Dune, when it comes to comic book movies, uh, this should be the new standard, and a lot of people should look at this movie and learn a whole lot of things from it, especially the way that they balance out so many things at once. Because a lot of times with these comic book movies, they're very ambitious, just like this movie, but it just doesn't work out. A perfect example: Spider-Man 3, very
Don't take
very
my example.
very very ambitious, didn't work out. This movie, extremely ambitious, even more than that,
No,
and
man.
they still managed to balance it out where it works properly. um we won't spoil it here, the big reveals and stuff, but Jake and I and Ethan, we all did a spoiler heavy review on that. Go check that out on the channel as well. um s- Everything about this movie worked for me. Really, the only complaint I ever really had is um, a little, I guess, like pacing issue a little bit in the beginning. Um, but if that's the worst thing you could say about a movie, you're in really good shape. You're in really good shape
Yeah.
because it just keeps getting better and better. The humor is at its best, I think, uh, for a Marvel or for a Sony slash Marvel film. Um, and some of the best, like, I think probably some of the best action scenes, fight scenes, some of the best emotional scenes that we've seen in comic book movies to
For
date.
sure.
Yeah, packs an emotional punch. Absolutely, probably the most emotional Spider-Man movie, and yeah, just a really great movie. Is the number one movie in the world, and rightfully so. And
Yes.
it's our number one movie. But any other things
Yeah.
that you wanted to add?
No. All I'm gonna say is if you haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but like don't go to work the next day. I don't care what you have to do, okay? I don't even care. I don't care if you're sick in a hospital bed right now. I want you to get up, make your way to the movie theaters, all right, and enjoy this flick, okay? That's what I say about this movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing, okay? Um yeah, just like Dom said, perfect movie. I mean, you couldn't have made this movie was 20 years of just awesomeness, of just fans, the villains coming back in there. Just everybody that's watched all these other like portrayals of Spider-Man, and then seeing this new Spider-Man come in, and then seeing him have to face these old threats. Um, it really pushed the development and character building of this MCU Spider-Man so much to where I actually got to enjoy this MCU Spider-Man, and can't wait, and I'm looking forward to what they do with him in the future. And like we said, like not to spoil too much, Multiverse of Madness is coming up. We know crazy things are going on, and I this movie opened up so much different avenues for other people as well, uh, that could like build another franchise or franchises, in a different universe. And I'm so excited. We have no idea what's going on with the future of Spider-Man, and that's a great thing. And they've kind of kept us that way for the past 2 years. So, but yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know what you're doing. I've seen it 4 times. So go watch this movie. I haven't been disappointed at all through those 4 times, and I have to say, you'll find something new every time you watch this movie, because it is 2.5 hours, but it pushes you through the whole movie. It's not pulling you through the movie, kind of like Eternals was. It's really kind of just like pushing you. Um, so great movie, great movie. Nothing else to say. It's the number one. It's the number one. You know.
Awesome. Well, hey man, we did it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got through it, man.
We did it. It was pretty awesome. Were
Took a
there
long
any?
time.
Oh, I'll burn through the other honorable mentions. Oh, wait, I think it
Yeah.
was just Mighty Ducks for me, and oh, and Cruella was. I really enjoyed that movie as well.
Mm.
Um, I think
Got
that's one of the.
ruined for me. So
Yeah, I think that's one of Emma Stone's best portrayals of a character, and really great acting chops. Like she delved into it, and she did a great job.
yeah,
So
it was a good movie. It was. It was. If you like that, like it was good for that. I don't know. It wasn't necessarily my favorite thing, but it was definitely watchable, more watchable than a lot of other things that I've seen come out this year, for sure. So I
and
liked
I
it.
think really good for a lot of times these shows where they're trying to do stuff like this, Disney in particular trying to bring anything animated into live action.
Mm,
It's very difficult, and then even doing stuff like now with this they're trying to do kind of like a prequel type of thing.
hmm.
um so I felt they did very good with the challenge that they were going up against.
Definitely. Yeah, Emma Stone is always a fantastic actress, and any role that you put her in, like she'll handle herself in like any situation. I swear, I feel like Emma could probably play any character and play it very well. I think that she's that good of an actress.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Well, all right, man, we should head out of here, but it was a lot of fun doing this episode. I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now, so
hmm.
it's been good. Really enjoyed
Yeah,
having you on here and your list. Really appreciate everyone tuning in to live and chiming in with their thoughts too. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, leave some comments there. Let us know your opinions. Let us know your list or just some of your favorite movies and shows from 2021. Anything else you wanted to add, Jake, before we get out of here?
I just wanted to wish everybody on here a happy 2022, and I hope this year goes a lot better for you. I know it is. We got a lot of great movies coming out. 2021 is behind
Yeah,
us, and
the
I'm excited
Batman.
for
Let's
this next
go.
year. Dude, the bat,
Let's go.
everything, bro. It's
I
gonna
will
be
be
it's gonna be
doing
a great
a
year.
review on that.
But stay
Can't
safe,
wait.
everybody. Yeah, and
Yes,
thank you, Dom.
absolutely.
Thank you for having me on here, man. I've really appreciated the
Thank
time that you've
you.
allowed me to come on here and be on your show. So I appreciate it, and I look forward to another great year. So let's get it.
Yeah, you know what? Just to go along with that too, I want to thank everyone, especially Jake and Ethan, who have been on most of the episodes with me this past year and always do a great job, bring some great things to the table for the conversation. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun this past year doing the podcast, and I have to thank the audience that tunes in, our
Heck yeah.
friends, fans, family. Love
Thanks,
all you
Ryan.
guys. Yeah, Ryan, enjoyed the show. Thanks so much for being
Thanks,
here.
brother.
Thanks everyone. But okay, man, let's head out. Um,
All right.
what's coming up next week? We'll be doing Book of Boba Fett episode 4 on Wednesday, and that's 6 p.m. Pacific. You can look forward to that, and then we got to plan another trivia night here soon, Jake. We
Dude.
got to do that.
Yeah,
So I'll be talking to you about that soon.
for
But you
sure.
guys can expect more Book of Boba Fett reviews, and we'll have a trivia night very soon.
Yep. Yep.
All right, we will catch you guys later.
Yeah. Have a good one, brother.